I've been watching a lot of old horror movies lately. It's one of my favorite hobbies. I love classic, universal, old horror. So when I saw this Vancouver Canucks game go down the way it did, there was only one thought percolating throughout my mind. They're alive! They're alive! The Vancouver Canucks are alive, baby! A 2-1 win against the Washington Capitals, the best team in the NHL, 8-0-2 in their last 10, number 1 in points percentage by a country mile. The Caps are the best team in the league. And Vancouver, with all of their turmoil, with all the conversations, hey, guess what? JT Miller was almost traded a week ago. Elias Pettersson was almost traded yesterday. How crazy is it that yesterday, the Vancouver Canucks almost had no Elias Pettersson on their team, and today, they got 2 of them. Elias Pettersson and Elias Pettersson played in today's contest, the very first NHL game for the latter, DPD, as we all like to call him here. And the Vancouver Canucks had themselves one of the more complete, solid, and just very likable and admirable performances tonight. I don't know about you, but just kind of looking at the tea leaves, looking at the discourse surrounding this team, I wasn't really surprised when I watched this broadcast and I said, hey, Saturday night, 7 p.m., but a lot of seats in Rogers Arena seemed to be empty. I don't know if it was because I was watching at inopportune times, but it did feel like some of the tickets weren't really getting sold in this game. And I mean, why would they? The Canucks have been sucking lately, and they're playing the best team in the NHL. What else do you want? Well, they still find ways to defy all odds and come out with a victory. Kevin Lankinen gets the win. He was minutes away from getting a shutout, but thanks to Pierre-Luc Dubois, that was spoiled. It's kind of funny because Pierre-Luc Dubois is like the only Washington Capital that seems to score goals against Vancouver these days, even in the last game. What was it, a 2-1 overtime victory for the Caps? Dubois had both the goals there too, so yeah, Pierre-Luc Dubois has been doing a lot of damage to the Vancouver Canucks lately, but ultimately, it doesn't result in a dub this time. Vancouver ends up getting the victory, and they hold on. Honestly, I was feeling a little bit suspicious. I was like, what's going on with this team? They're actually playing well. Kevin Lankinen is making a lot of saves. I'm sorry, but I don't think there's anybody at this point that's going to go out there and say that Thatcher Demko is the main dude. Lank the Tank, baby, is in here, and not the tank as in the Matt Bartkowski Tank Commander tank. Tank as in he is a brick wall who is just immovable, and he only gets beat when he drops the puck and he doesn't realize that it's outside of his glove and actually on the ice. Honestly, I feel like the goal Washington scored was a little bit lucky in that respect, but still, that is the only goal they had in this game. The 2 Vancouver goals, though, scored by none other than Quinn Hughes. It is always Quinn Hughes. I was actually a little bit ticked off because the guys that I'm playing in fantasy this week, they've got Phil Hronek, and I was like, oh, come on. The guy keeps on getting assists. That is not helpful for me, but still, Quinn has been so dominant this season. He extends his lead over the second-place Canuck guy in points. He's got a 21-point lead, I think, against JT Miller, who is number 2. It is one of the highest gaps in the NHL for point leader number 1 and point leader number 2 on their team. I think Mikko Rantanen, they said on the broadcast, is like the newest guy because he's now in Carolina, but totally different circumstance over there. Anyways, let's talk about the goals scored before we dive into just what this game means. First goal of the game scored by Quinn in the first period. This was a beautiful little play that was started out by Nils Höglander behind the Washington Capitals goal line. He's fighting off the check there and really just battling along the boards, making sure to keep the play alive. Gets it back over to Quinn Hughes, who splits the forwards. You know how everybody says, oh, he splits the D in, he shoots, he scores. Quinn Hughes split the 2 forwards that were up there trying to guard him at the blue line, cuts across the middle of the ice, and then backhands it against the grain against a Charlie Lindgren who is screened and can't track it properly. What a beautiful sense of place on that goal. The shot was high, really nice placement there, and of course the momentum, he was able to just get all of it and get the goalie going the other way. Beautiful goal to open things up 1-0. Quinn then makes it 2-0 just a minute into the second period off of yet another play where he walks the line. Hughes goes over to Hronek. Besser then gets it. He goes around the goal, banks it back over to Hughes, who walks the line as elegantly as he does. Then he rips it on goal, and it gets through everybody. This one, it had eyes. Just looking at the replay there were definitely enough bodies in the way that could have blocked it. Matt Roy kind of moved out of the way, unfortunately for him, to let the puck go in by the goaltender, and that's one of those plays where, hey, you just got to get pucks to the net. You have to have your shots be placed in good positions, and if you do that consistently enough, you will get results, and Quinn Hughes, with his 14th goal on the season, is able to do that, and he does that on however many shots he had in this game. He had 2 shots and 2 goals. Really nice for Quinn Hughes. Washington's only goal of the game came with just a few minutes left in the third period. 8 minutes left, it looked like, 7.5. And this is one of these plays where Kevin Lankinen, unfortunately, he had the puck under his glove. He wasn't able to cover it properly. And it's Pierre-Luc Dubois who is in there instead, right in the crease to just jam the puck in. No regard for the goaltender interference or whatever. The Canucks didn't want to challenge it. There was an argument to be made because Alexei Protosh's stick was under Kevin Lankinen's glove, I think, to free the puck up, but still, the Canucks don't end up challenging. It was a little bit too risky, and they end up continuing on. This is where the Capitals really started to put the pressure on in the third period, and I was kind of, holding my breath a little bit because it seemed like the Canucks, in classic 24-25 Canucks fashion, would be on the cusp of choking the lead away again and losing, but ultimately, that is not what happened. Vancouver, they weathered the storm. Lankinen made some more saves. Admittedly, it was a little bit, difficult because some of these other plays did see him lose the puck under his glove once again, but Lankinen made enough saves that he needed to. The Canucks almost got themselves an empty net goal off of Phil DiGiuseppe. Charlie Lindgren was waiting to go to the bench, waiting for that signal, and then once he started to go, the Canucks got the puck back, and Charlie Lindgren, with the presence of mind to be able to notice the play was coming the other way, sprints back towards his crease and dives, baseball style, to catch Phil DiGiuseppe's empty net attempt in mid-air. What a beautiful play. What a beautiful goal. That was such an amazing part of the game, and you'll be seeing that save on highlight reels for pretty much the rest of the month, I feel. The Canucks, though, were able to weather the storm continuously. Washington got the puck back, and they started doing their thing with the empty net officially, and Vancouver, off of a final second faceoff win by Teddy Bluger, are able to neutralize the play and win this game 2-1. Elias Pettersson, the forward, I thought he had a pretty interesting game. There were some shots that he took where I was like, okay, I don't think you're really getting all of it, but he was still showing a willingness to shoot the puck and get it on goal, which is something that you cannot say he's done consistently all year, so it's better to see it than to not see it. Meanwhile, Elias Pettersson, the defenseman, in his first NHL game, he looked really good. I mean, I don't want to say he's Quinn Hughes 2.0 or something, but he was definitely fine and a realistically good option when it comes to the breakout and when it comes to his defensive presence of mind. He definitely didn't look too out of place. JT Miller had a really stellar shot block at the end of the game to keep the puck at bay. Alex Ovechkin was going out there trying to take some shots. He looked pretty dangerous as always. And then I'd say that for other players that stood out in my mind, obviously Quinn Hughes there, but Niels Höglander I thought had a hard dog game. And it's one of these games where, hey, that effort level is going to be rewarded if he keeps on showing that off. Ultimately though, with all the drama about the Vancouver Canucks and how guys are going to get traded, it's really nice to have at least some people showing up to play and a team in Vancouver that is able to get wins. Sometimes. We'll see what happens when they play the St. Louis Blues coming up on Tuesday, I believe. And, Monday, excuse me. Canucks are getting the Blues, and you're probably going to see Lankinen suit up once again, right? You gotta go with the hot hand. Lankinen has been really good. It's gotta be Lankinen. Unfortunately for Demko, I think he's lost himself that spot for now. The Vancouver Canucks have not won 2 games in a row since December 1st, so they'll be trying to go back and do that on Monday. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Canucks and the Capitals. Quinn Hughes going out there and proving that this team is still alive. The comment section is your floor. This show is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Go out there and check out the first link in the description if you want to get yourself some free VPN months and save some money. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Trolls 99. and bye.